Hello, welcome to Unit 1 of CIS 6115 Applied Machine Learning. Um, this is Tom Gibbons, and I'm going to walk you through the basics of this chapter. We're going to try to cover 3 chapters in this unit. I think this is material you've seen before in some of your previous courses, and so we're just going to look at them from a machine learning point of view and just highlight some of the key features of these models as we go through them. So hopefully we'll be able to go through these 4 chapters. And then as we go through, I'll try to highlight. I don't expect you to be reading all these chapters necessarily. There's a lot of material, again, that in these chapters that tends to be more theoretical or mathematical than we need in an applied machine learning course. So again, the idea is that you should be reading through these models, these chapters, and I'll get you started on some of these models, and we'll look at some of the code as we go, and we'll try out some of this code. But again, a lot of the math derivations here and the equations, we're just going to skip over those sections, so you don't have to worry about these mathematical equations and stuff like this that's inside your chapter. I really like your textbook, but again, it's just a little theoretical for what we want. But we're going to follow the structure of it and just highlight certain sections of it each time. So again, this is our kind of objectives here, and then here's your checklist that we're going to go through. So let's just kind of do a quick summary of this checklist. There are these 4 chapters, and each one I want you kind of to read through the chapters, and again, you don't have to read all the sections. And then for each one there will be a notebook that goes along with it. So this is a notebook. Open up in Google Colab or Collaboratory, and there will be one for each chapter, and this will include some highlights from the chapter, and then some of the code that goes through the chapter. So you'll go through and we'll run these codes, and then there's a video in at the start of each one of these that'll kind of walk you through each of these chapters and talk to you about what sections I want you to really pay attention to in that chapter. So again, you should be doing the notebook and reviewing the chapter. I would say do them together for these. So again, there's 5 chapters. 4 is by far the largest. We cover the most material there. 5 is a little short, and 6 we just briefly is not very much stuff there. So don't get overwhelmed when you do 4 that they're all like that. Now with this, you'll have a write-up just to make sure you're paying attention here. You have this unit 1 write-up. So for each chapter, I have a couple of questions. We'll have tasks in the notebook. So here, if I scroll down, there'll be some code you have to run, and this is all done for you. But then there's some questions about this here, and so you just have to answer these questions. So you can read the questions here, but I want you to type up the answers here, and then this will be something you'll submit in the Blackboard. So in Blackboard, this is how you're probably actually viewing this unit plan is right here in Blackboard. And then there'll be an assignment here. You can just click on this header up here, and you could, once you've done with your notebook, you submit this. And again, the notebook is just pretty well straightforward answers. This is largely participation, just to kind of keep you engaged in the material. And this is largely just graded with participation here. Okay, so that's the units and the little write-up that goes with them. And then to give you a little more chance to apply these things, we'll have a mini project in each unit. So here's the mini project for this. And again, we're going to open this up in Google Collaboratory. And again, we're going to look at some, there'll be a video here that you can watch. We're going to look at some breast cancer data here. And so I'll set up this so that we'll import the data and set it up and do some prep on the data so it's all ready for you. But then your job is to then select one of the methods we've learned in this unit, some code from there, and look at some of the parameters there and figure out and predict your score. So the code is not all here, where in the notebooks your code's all here. The idea here is you can hopefully look through the notebooks and copy and paste and alter the code from the notebooks, from the different chapters. Pick one of the models from the chapters, maybe sport vector machines or decision trees. Bring that code over here and set it up. for that. And then you have to do some write-ups for this unit as we go. So try to watch your time and not go too deeply in these things. Again, we want to try to cover this material, but again, not go too deeply. So kind of my expectation is that maybe you spend at most an hour on each of these chapters and notebooks and the write-up. An hour at most on those. And then another couple hours on this this mini project as we go. Now, if you get stuck, you should post questions to the discussion area. You're required. Let me scroll down. Oops, let me go back to Blackboard and scroll down there. So you're required to do 2 posts every week to Blackboard asking questions about either the notebooks or the mini projects or something you're stumped on, or answering questions. If you got stumped but you figured something out, post a hint to another student. Or again, if there's something cool related to this you want to share that in the discussion areas. Okay, that's the plan.